Good morning. Today is September the 16th, 2022. Continuing with what I was talking about yesterday, I gave you a rundown on my injury. Happened in about 06, '07 through to 13, where I was relearning how to live with a spinal cord injury, which has more to do with relearning how to live life, like learning how to walk, learning how to adjust to life. There was life before the injury, life after the injury, and then the long process of the surgery, the recovery, and then now the learning. Just quickly, I was in a situation where actual physical therapy was not helpful for me. I was in such rough shape that I couldn't, I would wear myself out just going 2 blocks at the time. That's where the physical therapy was. That by the time I got there, I was exhausted. To tell the truth, my recovery had everything to do with just living life, buying groceries, um, doing life, cooking food. I spent more time in my bed because I needed to spend time in my bed. Obviously, it was a slow, long process. Eventually, as a, you can do the math, I got very fat. And I called myself fat. I even called myself fat at the time when I was doing it. I actually I accepted it because I am or was, and so be it. I was most of my life was on concentrated on how to just relearn to live life, relearn to adjust to the new style, the new way my life is now going to be before and after the injury. By the time 13 hit, I told you about no longer fitting in my clothes, and I was stuck with a dilemma. Do I buy a whole new wardrobe, or do I do something about the weight? Um, just a quick little sidetrack. The whole time, over those 5 years, I was seeing a doctor almost monthly. I was keeping them informed with how my progress or how I was healing, what I was doing. I was getting injections in my back for to help all of that stuff. Never once did one of my doctors say, and I had 3 of them at the time, or over the course of the 5 years. Now, one of them said, "Have you ever thought about weight reduction as a to help you heal better?" Except my last doctor, the current one I still have, he actually did, and it was like for me, just to show you that obviously the spinal cord injury had a little bit to do with it. It was a bit of a head injury as well. I never thought of it. I was in the mindset of, well, being older, over 40. Now I'm hitting 50 at the time of 13, 49. But when he said that, I thought, oh, to me, what I heard was, wait a minute, I can do something with my weight. I'm dumb. What can I say? Anyways, so then I was thinking, all right, now what are my options if there is something to do, or how can I lose weight? What are again? I had put a lot of, and that it works. I put a lot of. I believed that physical energy, burning calories, is, and it worked for me, was a way to slim up. But I couldn't do that. Not in my condition. Well, I could walk, but with a walker and whatnot. But I could walk, I could cook my own food, but I really did not have the strength or the agility to do much more. But then in the back of my mind, I remember way back, my brother, who had a bit of a weight issue, he had constantly harped on, or not harped, he had really, and it helped him, he had gone for this thing that at the time, I think Atkins diet, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's high protein, low carbs as a way to go. And So I'm thinking, okay, now you have to remember, and actually people know this, sorry. Carbs actually, as far as your money goes, they're a lot cheaper to purchase than protein. Protein products, meat, is expensive, so you have to budget for it. And I was on, and still am, on a very limited income where, to tell the truth, and I didn't even think of this. Um, Buying protein means I have less money to spend on food in general. Case that's it is what it is. But I had made my decision that that is something I'm going to try. At the time, I was wearing mostly because I couldn't fit in my pants anymore. I had track pants with the drawstring. That's what I lived in. I obviously, because of my condition, I didn't have much of a social life, anyways. So, live in tracks. Um, Over the next from 13, I think maybe by 15, I hadn't seen another brother who lives in the States. He came to visit, and we were talking, and all of a sudden he just sort of stopped in the mid conversation, goes, "Wow, do you ever look skinny?" And I'm like, "What?" Remember, I don't, well, you don't remember, but I never had a scale. And the scale, believe it or not, the scale at my doctor's office was broken when I actually stepped on it. So I had no idea what my weight was for years. Anyways, when he was carrying on about how much weight I lost and how much weight did I lose, and I didn't know, next time I visited someone with a scale, I stepped on it, and lo and behold, I was now, by 15, starting my protein uptake. And that's it, to tell the truth. I really was not counting calories. I wasn't eating less per se. I still was eating. When I was hungry, I would eat. But now I was eating more protein than before, let's put it that way. And all of a sudden, when I scaled myself in 15, I was 185. And it's like, wow, that was at least from my highest recorded weight, but it was actually higher than that because of the pants were no longer fitting that they did at 225. Anyways, now by 15, I was 225. Excuse me. By 15, I was 185. And slowly, steady, ever since then, it's been going down, down, down. Between 15 and 17, I finally, and 17, so just in 2 more years. So the first 2 years, I dropped 35 pounds. Well, I guess it all makes sense because by 17, I was now down to 155. In the course of the last 5 years, I'd actually now dropped another 15 pounds. Currently, I told you yesterday, I'm between the 139, today scaled at 139, 137. Anyways, I will continue with this, but and elaborate more on how it worked for me. But the simple fact is, it does work. Protein as a food source at the expense of carbs does work for me for weight loss and for a lot of other channels which I've seen who have done a similar journey as I've done. It's worked for them too. Part 3 of this, okay, this will be one last history of videos, will be what I'd learned since about what I was doing. Not only did it work for me, but there's actually a science behind why it worked for me. But I'll save that for tomorrow. And today, I will leave you guys, and this is me patching up.